I'm curious, Royden, how much of the Olympics you've been watching.
Actually, a good bit. I almost they didn't get my money because I just found out that they didn't in the Tokyo Olympics. They used to just put the men's basketball on Peacock, so you had to subscribe to. Now they're all kind of nationally broadcast on we have YouTube TV, so it's on USA or whatever. It's buried in different channels, so you give those channels some ratings. But they almost got my money for Peacock because I thought, oh well, it's just all going to be on there again.
Peacock's one of the cheapest ones.
Yeah, it's like $7. Yeah,
so they're like pretty reasonable about it.
They took away the 2-week free trial thing.
Yeah,
which I was like, okay, but. All that to say,
because the Olympics are 2 weeks long.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny how that works.
Yeah.
All that to say, I have watched most of the gymnastics. I didn't the couple of the individual things were like 6 a.m. yesterday, so I didn't get to those. Most of the gymnastics, all of the basketball except for the 3-on-3. And
3-on-3 is not as fun as it.
It's not. It's not really.
It's not as fun as.
And also, we got washed.
Yeah,
it
really has nothing to do with that. It's just I feel like it's not as fun as it.
Can we send some better players? No offense to Jimmer Fredette, all-time hooper, but like college hooper especially. But
what about just some?
He's like 38.
Just some like big three guys.
Those, I mean, no.
They're also 38.
We could just send some lower end NBA players.
Yeah, like what's to stop the lesser?
There are like 3 dudes on the Rockets right now that aren't getting enough playing time that I think we could send to do like 3-on-3.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good plan. I like these.
If you finish last in the NBA standings, you have to send 3 players to the 3-on-3 tournament.
If you're the first pick, 3-on-3. Yeah, that's it. Help us win a gold that way. I like the sports that you don't get to see all that often. I think I'm enjoying that. And I was watching handball earlier, and then it was also split screened with water polo. And a
very similar sport.
Okay,
I mean, it is actually.
If you had to tell me how each of these sports were invented, and this is the story you came up with, 2 people in a church gymnasium that had a bunch of like a very like inner city poor church, like the one you'd see in Sister Act.
Yes,
like in that, and then like they're just going through the old sports equipment, and they found 2 old hockey goals and a ball. Like that's what they found that they could use.
Yeah.
And they're just,
but it's slightly deflated, so you can't really kick it.
Yeah, and then like waiting, so like, all right, well we can't really bounce this thing around. And there's nothing to pump it up. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna, while we wait for our parents who are never coming, we're going to throw this ball into this goal. And then each subsequent time they added a rule as they discovered, what you can defend or what should be illegal or what's allowed. And then, like, that was in the wintertime in, like, Minnesota or something.
Yeah.
They couldn't go outside. And then on a magical late June day, they went to the pool and thought, we could do the same thing here.
Yeah.
And then that was water polo.
Put that goal on floaties.
Yeah. Let's take it and do that, and then we'll do it in the water.
I have immense respect for water polo simply because it is, I will lose, but I can run a 100-meter dash.
Yeah.
I cannot tread water and throw a ball for, what are they, like, they have like 30 seconds around to throw before they have to swim down to the other side, dejected because they couldn't hit the target and then defend and then swim back. No. I drowned, actually.
It's nuts. In college, we had intramural inner tube water polo, where you sit ass down in the inner tube.
Nice.
And, you paddle. And I'll just tell you, most of the time you're in inner tube ever in your life is not exhausting at all. In fact, it's the most, lazy thing you can do.
Right.
Is lay on an inner tube and float.
Yeah, like the hardest thing you've ever done in an inner tube is get out of the river to walk back up.
Yes.
To go back down.
Yeah, exactly. Jump in so your feet are in the water, so you pee in the water and not on yourself. Like those kind of things. That's what you do in an inner tube. Inner tube water polo.
Display athletics by catching a beer.
Was exhausting. Because you can't really, like, you're not using your legs all that much. You're like paddling like this, or you got to lean over. I did about 3 games of it before I was like, you know what? I'll just ref it. I'll just be the intramural ref because
If you're the ref of that, you can just float around. You might have the one with a cup holder in it.
So the ref stands outside the pool.
Oh.
In that sport and make sure, there's no, you can't tell really what's going on half the time.
Yeah.
You just got to make sure that people don't fight, of which you get a couple frats in there. There's going to be a fight in the water. A little testosterone, and you get bro v bro.
No drowning.
Yeah.
You said no drowning.
Yeah. What's up, bro?
Yeah.
Bro, I can tell you this happened more than one time, and it was a sad state of humanity. Was, bro, what's that, bro? What are you talking about?
How many bros per capita?
You just going to do that? Like, knock my guy over like that?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's legal. Well, that was kind of aggro,
very,
bro.
very unbro of you, bro.
Very, very aggro. All right, well, hey, guys, just play the game. Have fun. You're both wrong. Like, just be better. 5 minutes later, and then you just see the one guy, like, paddle directly at the other one who's got the ball and just knock him out of the water inner tube aggressively. Casual. And then you get one of these, like, in the water. What?
You can't look cool while also floating like this and being
What?
Hey, you want to go?
Do you know the most embarrassing thing I've ever been a part of is sitting in the disciplinary meeting with the head of the campus rec department, as I was the person who one of the people who had to write up this incident with the 2 dudes who got in a fight at inner tube water polo. And the person's going, like, this is honestly, when they walked out, she was like, this is like 2 people getting on a fight on the teacups at Disney World. Like, you should just be happy. Like, there's no reason for this.
And then he waded aggressively over to him.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
what's the one sport that you look at and obviously like gymnastics.
Yeah.
But is there a sport that you look at and you think, there's no way I could ever replicate that? Like,
almost all of them.
Not replicate in that medal or in that, like, you physically could not do.
No, if the hurdles were lower, I could do them.
Yeah, hurdles.
Pole vault, I don't know
pole vaults, high jump. Just all the track and field stuff. I think I could sprint, but, like, not well. I'd pull a hamstring.
Again, I can go 100 yards.
I'm just thinking of something that I physically cannot do. And every time that I watch women's gymnastics and men's gymnastics, for that matter, like the pommel horse or whatever, I'm just like...
The rings, man.
The
rings are just unbelievable.
Every time that I watch, like, the balance beam and everything, and I'm just, like, I'm stunned that they're able to do all of that.
Yeah.
It's truly fascinating, and I can't believe I only watch it, like, every 4 years.
Yeah. I also think it's going to be good for a lot of these sports that hip-hop has now adopted them, like gymnastics and water polo and things like that. Like, I think
Flava Flav is, like, all about
he's all
women's
about
water polo.
Oh, he's all about, like, women's sports. He's, like, a huge fan. And he just gives money and, goes and has a good time. He loves it.
Just in the stands, like, having the best time of his life.
Yeah.
Is there one sport? Handball, though, I will say, you could be on the handball team.
Yeah, handball.
America is surprisingly, for a country that is, like, the best at throwing, we're the best at throwing things.
We're not good at handball.
We're not good at handball.
No. It feels like it would be a good
There's a reason they made
sport.
the grenades in World War II look like baseballs, is because Americans on average, I have no data to back this up, are just better at throwing things than other countries. Footballs, baseballs in general.
Everybody else, like, if you had to kick a grenade, we'd suck at it.
Yeah, we'd be terrible at it.
Yeah.
It'd go right back into the foxhole with us. But I just think that, like, we should be better at handball.
Yeah.
Get some former washed-up MLB pitchers in there.
Yeah.
What do you like? Max Scherzer, once he was retired, go be a handball guy.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah. 98-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yeah.
Did you see, though, that Chase Buttinger, former, like, Rockets Timberwolves player, is, like, playing beach volleyball,
though,
too?
Not anymore. They lost.
They lost? This
yesterday.
is when I've not been watching.
Yeah, they lost yesterday. I was sad about that. Now we still do have an American team in.
Yeah.
50% of our beach volleyball teams are out. The one men and one women's team are out. You are a person who enjoys, like, watching. Some of these sports are ridiculous, too.
Yeah.
Like, it's,
whatever the equestrian, I know it's difficult and expensive, and you got to do the whole thing. The equestrian, like, horse dancing thing.
Dressage.
What?
Dressage is what it's
That's
called.
okay.
That's what it's called. That one is the one I don't think is. Garrett, what do you think about dressage?
They give the horse a medal?
I don't never even heard of that. I don't even watch the Olympics.
Yeah, he didn't watch the Olympics. But
You don't watch the Olympics?
So,
No.
like the other question stuff, you got
That's
a
even
horse
weirder.
jumping over hurdles and all those things.
Yeah.
That to me, and look, I know it's not easy to teach a horse how to dance.
No.
But I don't see that as maybe an Olympic feat, as when I watch Mondo Duplantis not need to jump to win the gold medal. He didn't need to jump. And then he's like, you know what, though? I'm just going to
set a world
I'm
record.
just going to set the world record. And whoop, whoop, whoop. So
We let that guy go from like Louisiana go to Sweden to compete for the Swedish team and win gold.
I would bet you that our American Olympic Committee is like, that's
what happened?
You know, I don't know if the Joel Embiid trade is fair.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Joel Embiid is sitting out qualifying games,
we get Joel Embiid on our team, but, you know, they got a really good pole vaulter. I feel like we could get another basketball player.
Yeah.
There's not pole vaulters like Mondo Duplantis.
I don't know if there's a Swedish basketball player that we necessarily want, but that's big fail for the U.S. track team.
Yeah. No, golly. Anyway,
What did you jump, like 20 feet?
Yeah, it was insane. And then it didn't even look hard to him.
Yeah.
You watch other people, even other elite pole vaulters, like you can tell that like all their might is going to get fifth in the Olympics. And Mondo's just out there like, whee!
I still don't know how they do it. The thing about me is that you get all the way up, you have to fall down.
Eventually, yeah.
You have to come down.
Eventually, I think Mondo's just going to start doing tricks like, hey, listen.
Backflip.
When I clear the bar, I want you to throw me a beer.
Yeah.
I'm going to catch it and chug it on the way down. How about that?
Did you see that one guy that may have taken the bar down with him in an uneasy way?
Oh, no, I know. It is the
what a way to lose the Olympics.
Yeah, no, look, here's not all bad for him. I mean,
no, exactly.
Look, everybody in the world's going to know why.
Yeah.
You know, and
congratulations, sir, to you on other reasons, but not the Olympics.
Hey, look, I could have medaled in the Olympics, but you know why I didn't. So
I didn't medal in the Olympics because
how about I get those digis?
Yeah.
Right,
you want to see the video?
Yeah. Girl, it's how big? Big enough you couldn't medal in the Olympics.
Yeah.
You know, those kind of things.
Those kind of things.
Those are good things to me. I think that's a good deal. So let's jump into some college sports now. In the next segment, we're going to talk about Pitbull Stadium, which
unbelievable.
I could not.
I love that. I thought that was a bit.
No, it's real. It's real. It's Pitbull.
I thought somebody made a really funny bit online.
At FIU, Pitbull is now the sponsor of their stadium. And he'll do an event, and he'll have Pitbull-adjacent artists. Garrett is our resident hip-hop critic. Where does Pitbull rank on
not even
your-
hip-hop.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
do
what are
hip-hop.
really- yeah.
I'm not sure.
It's like pop music.
Where does Mr. Worldwide doesn't fall on your list?
No,
anymore,
not at
does
all.
he? Yeah.
He's so popular. He's
And he does a
insanely
lot of
popular.
things with hip-hop artists.
That's fair. But
he's not.
Nah, he ain't for me.
He's a pop star.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I know he's insanely popular. You go on to Spotify, he's going to have like 1 billion streams on all of his songs. I did not know that he had it like that, where he's like $1 million, easy money to like every. Obviously, he does, and he probably has like 18 houses, but it is crazy to me that he's like, I'm going to just pay you to put Mr. Worldwide on the stadium or whatever. Hey, we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah, I think it's funny. It's very funny, and we'll talk about other people who may need a stadium. So, Jack, what do they call the FIU Pitbulls? They might as well.
What?
I mean, what else have they done? Like, what tradition does FIU have?
They're the Panthers, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, just do it.
Yeah, there's tons of them.
You know, raise awareness for the ASPCA.
Yeah.
Or SPCA.
Yeah.
ASPCA.
So, Humane Society. Look, we're going to have a dog in here on Thursday again. We bring it. This will be our third dog that we brought in, hopefully to get adopted.
Okay.
So,
how many have you taken home?
I'm not allowed, Royden, and it's killing me on the inside.
It's always the worst. We do the same thing at the news station where they're like, "Come look at these beautiful little dogs that we have. They're the nicest, sweetest dogs of all time." But you can't take them home.
Yeah.
Not you. Someone else.
Yeah. So, anyway, I am curious on your thoughts on this. Is Jim Harbaugh a lying liar who lies, or is he really this naive? Now, I will preface this by saying I have to make a legal disclaimer because we had what I think was Garrett yesterday, a Michigan-aligned lawyer.
Yeah, that was odd.
It was odd. He'd never been in the chat before. We welcome new people all the time. That's what we want. We are, we have an open borders policy here at 365 Sports. And
it takes all kinds.
Yeah, exactly. But this character started when we were talking about the Michigan thing, saying, "Would you testify to this in court?" And I'm like, "Bro, you got to chill. I'm just talk show host. I'm kind of, strongly speculating here." I said, "But the evidence that appears to be in the hands of the NCAA is very damning. It's very, very.
I mean,
damning.
Also a lot of what talk shows do in general is report on other people's reporting.
Yeah.
And kind of what we do here is that I've read some Sports Illustrated articles and things like that, and because I didn't see the Harbaugh press conference, but to get in a chat room and be like, "Come to Michigan to testify," is wild.
Yeah, it is. So, but yesterday he was, and look, this happened a little bit last football season when there was a guy, former media person. I can't remember what his deal was. I think he used to work for CNN Sports and Headline News, and he's now put all his efforts into just being Michigan super alum, Iraqi type PR shill of, like when we were in the Iraq war and like clearly we're kind of running through it, and they had the guy who was like, it was a bloodbath for us.
Everything's fine and good. Yeah.
Yeah. No, pay no attention to all the Americans here. That was all part of it. That's that's half of them. We took out half of them at the airport, like that kind of a thing. That's kind of how he is shilling for Michigan. You know what? I'll make it more appropriate. He's the Paul Feinbaum of Michigan.
Oh, well, yesterday Paul Feinbaum ripped Harbaugh a new one.
And look, that's what Paul does.
Yeah.
But they're to shill for Michigan. I think that.
What do you want to get just to the heart of the question that you asked? Is he a lying liar who lies?
Liar who lies? Is he really this naive? Did he think
naive would be the wrong word for it? What do you mean by naive? Like
he's just this kid. He's miraculously hired this wonder kid named Connor Stallions who, just knows how to tell them what's going on, and he just walks up and is like, "Oh, they're gonna blitz here," and he's like, "Wow, this kid knows his stuff." Unbelievable. We've got Rain Man on our staff here, and that's what we're going to do. I had no idea. Or is he a lying liar who lies? In your opinion. In Royden's opinion.
Oh, yeah, this is going to go out over the...
Royden's opinion. This is in no way an accusation. This is just an opinion, Michigan lawyer guy.
I find it hard to believe that the second in charge in your team, and this is true of most investigations, the second in charge of your team knew everything, so now he is going to probably face a suspension from the NCAA for however, if the NCAA hangs on. He's going to face a suspension because he knew everything that Connor Stallions was doing. This is what the SI article laid out, basically, is that he had direct knowledge of what Connor Stallions was doing.
Well, you would think that coordinators would.
While also deleting quote-unquote evidence of the collusion going on there.
Yeah.
I find it very hard as somebody as thorough as Jim Harbaugh would not have any knowledge to the goings-on of his defensive coordinator and said plaintiff. But I don't like he's going to, if he would ever go back to the NCAA, which I don't think he is, this article said that he could be hit with a show cause penalty. And first of all, I think he'll die or retire before he goes back to the NCAA. Yeah. I think that the the comparison of, oh, well, he didn't provide his personal cell phone to the NCAA for evidence. I think a lot of people are going to take that and run with it and be like, well, see, obviously, if he didn't have anything to hide. I find that tough because with any investigation into anything, criminal or otherwise, by the way, never submit to evidence that you don't have to. That's just like free lawyer advice.
Yeah.
But so him not giving his cell phone, I'm just kind of like, I don't know if I would either.
No,
I'm not compelled to.
Like, there's not compelled to.
I'm not going to do anything that I'm not compelled to, especially like testify to.
I think it bigger issue here, to me at least, is.
I mean, just saying you had no knowledge because you're so far removed from it, 2,000 miles away in Southern California, where you can just be, whatever they got going on over there, Godspeed.
It doesn't matter to me. I'm not the coach at Michigan.
Yeah,
anymore.
exactly. I'm not the coach at Michigan. I think, but to straight up come out and say I have zero knowledge of anything to the contrary, that's a tough look. Considering all of the things that are stacking up against you. I don't know now to what extent that Harbaugh knew or used that information, I don't know. But it's clear to some folks, investigators, that the defensive coordinator, now the head coach, was using said information.
Yeah. So Kim Coulter, good friend Kim Coulter, says, Paul, that guy was a gutless yellow turd fake lawyer who tried to bully and intimidate you. Don't you dare back down. By the way, no real lawyer threatens anyone like that in print. Let that sink in. Yeah, no, I know. I was aware. Thank you, and I appreciate all. Like the chat room, this is why I love them.
It's like full of lawyers.
They came right to my defense. They're like, God, you were such a clown. Like, what are you talking about? Like, holy, get over yourself. My thing about Jim Harbaugh is I think about Rafael Palmeiro.
Oh, this is going somewhere.
Because Rafael Palmeiro sat in front of Congress and pounded his fist on the table and said, I have never done steroids. Walked out of the building.
Oh, so did everybody else in that.
But he walked out.
Except for Canseco?
Yeah. He walked out of the building, had to pee in a cup, and it's like, never. Never.
This is radioactive, brother.
Never, and so...
This happened the other day. Speaking of steroids, I was listening to an interview with who was the Jones, the track athlete who in Atlanta lost 100 meters.
Yeah.
Basically, she lost all of her medals. Marion Jones. Yeah, she was doing an interview the other day, and I got mostly through it, but it was just basically like she was doing stuff that her husband was doing at the time, but she didn't think. Yeah. And I just find it very convenient with a lot of this stuff. That
was the Roger Clemens defense.
It was the Balco stuff, yeah.
Yeah, Roger Clemens' defense was like, oh, that was for my wife.
Peyton Manning, too,
As she works on
allegedly.
As she works on her fastball.
Yeah. Her sprints.
Yeah. So, no.
I just find it with all of these things, the extent to which you would know nothing is really doing a lot of work there. Nothing?
If I'm Jim Harbaugh, I don't get up there and say, I apologize for nothing. I didn't lie, cheat, or steal. Like the whole quote really backs you into a corner because, I mean, okay, you're.
What happens if a shred of evidence comes out that you did?
Yeah.
In fact.
So what
or
you
somebody rolls over on you.
I'm no longer the coach at Michigan. I don't feel it necessary for me to comment on this. I'm not going to comment on this until there's resolution, and even then, I don't know what I'm going to say. That's not an answer. It's a non-answer. It's evasive, but it puts you in a lot better position than I never did anything. My father raised me better than this. I did not do this, that, or the other. And you're like, okay, well, maybe you didn't, but you were overseeing people who did, and
the wrong word, but effusive in your innocent,
So, yeah, me think thou dost protest too much,
right?
Kind of a thing. That's where, if I'm a PR crisis team, I'm like, all right, look, you have some plausible deniability here, but the more you say no, the more people are not going to believe you. And also, even if you're telling the truth that you didn't know, now it's going to make you look ignorant of everything that's going on.
Yeah, what did you know that was going on at your football program?
Yeah, so they've had multiple issues. They've had the one coordinator fired for
That was
thing,
the taking
2 years ago, hacking into like a hacking scandal. So
I don't know how it's not a lack of institutional control at this point. That's what I've never been able to understand.
Yeah, so
that's a vague term that the NCAA has never once defined either. But to the extent, though, of which it matters, it doesn't, though, for Harbaugh. That's the whole thing. He was, I mean, as soon as they won that national championship, I think as soon as they, whenever they would have been done, he was going to go to the NFL. Yeah, it doesn't matter if,
well, that's why
they won the championship or not.
That's why he can just bark and say nothing, because it affects his current job in no
Zero.
way, shape,
and I don't
or
even,
form.
To the extent at which the PR people at the San Diego Chargers are freaking out.
The Los Angeles Chargers.
I'll never once get that right. But to the extent at which the Los Angeles Chargers of Los Angeles, California, of Anaheim, are freaking out, I don't know. Like, if you're a PR person, you just kind of not our job, not our circus, you know? We got to worry about, if Justin Herbert's foot works, and we'll deal with that first, and then whatever Harbaugh says, we'll kind of just, ship it down the line. Yeah. I don't know. I just think that he can actually do and say whatever he wants to. And if I was in his position, I don't know if I'd be doing any different.
No, I mean,
as much as we like to criticize the guy, if it does not matter to you in the long run, if you go and you win heck, if you take the Chargers to the playoffs, people are going to be singing your praises forever. But if you win a Super Bowl with the Chargers, is anybody going to remember that one time you were stealing plays at Michigan? I mean, maybe it's in the fifth paragraph of your Wikipedia at Michigan when it says coach at Michigan tab. After winning the national championship, he said he wasn't cheating.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I
don't know. I just think that we like to cast aspersions on people that we think aren't being righteous. But I also don't know if I would do any different.
No, I get you. It's very noble of you to say that. I don't know. What I would do different is just say, I'm not the coach at Michigan anymore. That's for them to figure out. I'm not going to talk about it. It's over. Because, all that matters is Michigan won the national title. And there's going to be a lot of people who go,
revoke it, yada, yada, yada.
It's tainted. And I say this to a Houston Astros fan. When you think of that World Series, you don't care.
Not once, no. We just been through a hurricane, and that's kind of what mattered. And then they won the World Series. I saw them win the World Series. It's the same thing with the Louisville championships that they took away from Patino or whatever. It's you saw them win that championship. Mm-hmm. Now, it may not be in the record books. It's going to be vacated in 2013 or whenever I think it's 2013, whenever they were winning. But I saw it, and a lot of Michigan fans saw it, and so Michigan fans, notoriously loud on the internet, you can't take it away from them. It will only serve to feed the beast. I think at this point, taking away championships also is just a tough look for because there's always video of it. It's not like they're going to wipe the video from the face of the earth either. And I know that seems silly oh, well, if a bunch of people saw it happen, that doesn't mean that, they should be awarded for it. But taking it away in the record books, I don't even think at this point with how people treat that sort of stuff, I don't even think that would stop them from putting up a banner in their stadium or putting up a placard or whatever they do, 2023 national champions.
Mm-hmm. No, it's not going to.
They would still put it up in their stadium. It doesn't matter. Okay. Does not matter.
No. All right, coming up next, we discuss the latest big-time sponsor in college football, Pitbull. And if you don't know who Pitbull is, good for you. Good for you. Dale.
Mr. Worldwide.
Mr. Worldwide. And
once performed at a Walmart in Alaska because of a fan vote. He was going to go perform at funny story. He was just going to go perform at any Walmart because of whatever whatever competition that he put out there, because he is not above the cash.
No.
And so people voted him to go.
I also think, and this is not confirmed, but I have to look at that. I do think he's one of those guys who's taken a bunch of money to go play for some kind of, Saudi
baron?
oil baron's birthday party, and I wonder if maybe this is like some of that guilt money
Redemption tour.
like, you know what? Why don't I donate this? Like, and I get like somebody says you're gonna get $10 million. We're gonna go over to Dubai. And you're gonna play a concert, and they're like, oh, who's this party for? And it's like, oh, this guy. And it's like, oh, okay. And then you get back on your private jet and you like hit Google and you're like, oh man, I really feel bad about singing that happy birthday to that guy. And come to think of it, those women did not look like they were free to roam about.
Let us sports wash this a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying that happened. It just feels like that is something that I would do if I found myself in that situation, much like Royden would.
Yeah.
If I accidentally, look, if you call me over to do sports talk and comedy for, a guy I don't know who he is, I just get on the jet and start counting the bills. And then I land and I'm like, hey, everybody, look at old Dave here. Yeah, you know what they say about Dave? Blah, blah, blah. And then I get back in the plane and I'm like, you know what? I wonder how Dave made his money. And like, oh.
And that is how Paul ended up on a list in front of Congress.
Conflict diamonds. No. Oh, that was bad. That was bad. You know what? This money needs to probably go out of my pocket.
Need to spend this wisely.
I need to Robin Hood this shit up right here. I need to do that. That's how I would react.
But instead of giving it directly to the college kids, I'm just going to put my name on the stadium.
Yeah,
It was a long tease.
Yeah, absolutely. When we come back,